fortunate. Ruth has developed laryngitis, and I'm in the process of developing laryngitis. So you have been warned. keep your distance, unless of course you want to kick in your immune system before Christmas. Then that's fine. I want to tell you a little bit about life in prison, and more particularly about the work of Angel Tree. But before I do that, I'd like 3 young volunteers, please. Three young volunteers, that's fine. Come on up. And Joa, come on. Joa is my grandson. Here he is. So, right, I'm just going to pour some water into this bowl. Do you want to take one of the other jugs, Joe, and pour it in for me? Now I have got 6 pebbles. And I want you each to take 2 pebbles. They're all much the same. Sorry. Yeah. Okay. Thank you, Joe. Just put that there. So I see I've got 4 actually helpers. That's okay. Right. Now, what I want you to do is I want you to put a pebble in the water and let it drop, but I want you to do it in such a way that it doesn't make any ripples. Were there ripples there? Did you see ripples? I saw ripples. You have a go. See if you can do it too. Just drop it very carefully. See if you can make it go in without making a ripple. Oh, there was lots of ripples and lots of bubbles as well there. Did you see that? It's tough, isn't it? It's not easy. It's not easy. Go on, go, Joe. That was close. I have to say that was pretty good. I'm not just saying that because he's my grandson. That actually was close. Okay, second go. Go on, go for it. Go for it. See if you can make it, drop it into there without making a ripple. Go on, your turn. Oh, that was good as well. That was very good. Well done. Yeah, well done. Very close. Oh, lots of ripples. You have a knack of making bubbles as well. Well done. And Joe, your last turn. That's not, well, there were definite ripples there. Okay, you can go back to your bed, back to your chairs now. It's not easy. It's not easy. I'll come back to that in a moment. I'll explain what that's about. I've been working in prison for 6 years now, and 7 years. And it came about in the most amazing way, as things often do. And I was the least likely candidate for working in prison, as I saw myself anyway. But then God had other plans, and it has been a most rewarding journey. Ruth, I work in prison in Channings Wood, which is 19 miles from here, near Newton Abbot. It's tucked away, so many of you won't even know where it is. Whereas Dartmoor, where Ruth used to work, is a very prominent prison. It's closed now, of course. So I have the joy of working with Ruth in Channings Wood. Joy in inverted commas. What we've just done here is something we do with the men. We get a group of them together, maybe 10 or 12, and we talk about victim awareness. We talk about being aware of the ripples that their life's actions and words have created. And of course, the most obvious one is that they're now in prison. But in addition to that, there's the ripple of the impact on the family, there's the victim, of course, there's the community they came from, the community of the victim. There are so many ripples. And we can't help but make ripples in life. It's unfortunate that many of these guys have done things that have seen them locked up now. But I have to say that along with talking about ripples and repercussions for these guys, one of the words that we wrestle with, and they wrestle with particularly, but is most powerful in prison, is the word grace. Because most of these guys don't believe that they deserve grace. They genuinely don't believe it. And insofar as we understand it, possibly we don't as well. But we know it's a gift. It's the most wonderful gift. You can't earn it. You can't save up for it. You can't claim it. It's a gift. And it's paid for by Jesus. And when these guys, as we peel back these layers of repercussions in their life, it's tough. We don't hold back on this. It's meant to be tough for these guys. Because in reality, so many of them have not really recognized there are victims to their actions. Oh, it's only shoplifting. Or, it's a minor crime, or they hit me first. So there's all sorts of things that go on in people's minds that blur this issue of victims. And so we don't pull any punches when we do this exercise with them. There are repercussions, there are ripples. But then at the same time, we talk about God's grace, God's love for them, for me, for them. And I can tell my own story. Christmas is a particularly difficult time for the men because it really brings it home to them just how separated they are from their loved ones. More so, of course, than other times of the year. You will all know, because you read the papers and watch the news, no doubt, that we have a prison population that pretty well exceeds the capacity now. So my own prison, Channings Wood, is tripling in size from 720 to 2,600 and something. It's in that process of being tripled in size. Huge. So it's a difficult time for the prison service to actually locate people in prisons near to where they come from. So what I'm finding more and more now is I've got prisoners from Leeds, Liverpool, Newcastle, down here. They have no control over where they go. Of course they don't. But of course that means that they don't see their family anything like as much as they would have done if they'd been placed in their own locality. It's hugely expensive for people to come down by train to here in Channings Wood. And so these guys are very much more these days cut off from their families. And so come Christmas, the joy of the work that we do with Angel Tree is to translate what we tell them about grace into something tangible, something truly tangible. Every gift that we give is a demonstration of God's love in a very tangible fashion. And this year we'll be sending, currently we have 85 gifts that we will be wrapping here on Monday week. I have with me here, let me tell you how it works. It's really quite intriguing. And actually, I've probably, those of you who've known about Angel Tree, I've said this before, but I have to really sell it to the guys because most of the time they don't believe me. When I say, I have some money that's been donated specifically to buy your children presents, they say, pull the other one, or something like that. Do you know, they really don't get it. They really think, why on earth would anyone want to do that for me? I don't deserve that. They generally don't, and I have to sort of really persuade them. I pull out a form and they fill it in, and in a week or so's time, I'll be writing a card to each and every one of them, explaining to them exactly what we bought their child or children, so that when they're on the phone to them, they know what they sent them, in theory. Here's an example. This is Daniel, real name, can't tell you his surname. Daniel's got two children, Reuben and Dorothy. Reuben likes dinosaurs, Power Rangers, Minecraft. And Dorothy loves fairies, unicorns, and drawing. That's great. That's very clear. But Ruth has to buy all these. She hits Amazon Prime big time. And we get the same drivers coming day after day after day saying, what's going on here? Are you setting up a shop? And actually, we've told some of them what it's for. And whenever you do it, you never know what reaction you're going to get. But more often than not, you get the most incredible reaction. There's a guy in the post office at Churchstowe when we were delivering them in big green dumpy bags for posting. And the guy was standing in the queue behind, what's going on here? And we explained, and he said, can I pay for your postage? Wow. I don't know if he knew exactly what he was committing to there, but wow, it was a real gift to us. We really appreciated that. And whenever I go out to anywhere and talk about the work of Angel Tree, my first question is, how many of you have been a victim of crime? And yet when we talk about Angel Tree, the generosity, the love, the compassion is very real. And I really thank you for that. That's been shown from this church year after year. So they don't really get it at first, and I have to really pull their arm to fill this form in. And I guess right until the point that they're on the phone talking to the kiddies, they probably think they've been scammed. So much so that when the guys do get it, this year has been really quite remarkable. In this year, I've not only been out on the wings and talking to guys about it, but I've had guys say, "Give me some forms, I'll run with this." And I've appointed little evangelists on the wings. We've got 10 wings now. And each wing now has an evangelist, somebody who goes out and tells the story, and it gets people excited about it. So we may have some more by the time we come to do the wrapping. So they fill the form in. Ruth does all the buying of the presents. Here we will wrap them. On the bottom of the application form is the gift tag. We cut that out, and that goes on the present. And we will buy a present up to £20. Typically it's Lego, Barbies, all sorts of squeezy melons and whatever they're called, these things. There are trends, it's really interesting. But so it's lovely, and we wrap these, and you read the gift tags as you're putting them on the wrapped present, and it really tugs at the heartstrings. It really does. To see the dad, as dads do, as best they can, express their love for their kiddies, and it's great to be a part of that. So you have, as a church, over the years, been incredibly supportive, individually and as a church, and I can't thank you enough. It's a joy not to have to worry too much about the money, actually, because it flows. It flows. People are very generous. And then we can concentrate on the work at the other end of getting the buy-in. And so the collection today will be for Angel Tree, specifically for the work at Channings Wood. 4,500 were sent out across the 138 prisons in England and Wales last year. 4,500 presents. We had 100 of those, which is statistically, you can do your maths, it's pretty good really, because the average is about 30 per prison. And so we've been really, again, we got people on the Chapter C team really work hard at this. So if you'd like to give today, you can give me cash, or you can use the sum up machine there. And I've also got the organization's bank details if you want to do it by bank transfer. So that's the work of Angel Tree. If you've got any questions, do speak to me afterwards. And the questions I typically get is, how can I get involved? And I'm going to have to say straight up that there are a lot of levels of security when it comes to handling the sort of personal information that we have. It doesn't stop you from getting involved, but you won't be able to do it Monday week. Because the security takes about 3-4 months. But if you wanted to be involved in this cycle next year, you can do. And we'd love you to be involved in that. And if you want to come into prison anytime, that's something we can arrange. If you want to come in and see whether it's something, this is for people who are feeling maybe this is a calling they have. And I know the first time I went into prison, I didn't know how I was going to react. But then I warmed to it, and I warmed to the guys, and that was it. I was in, my heart was in, then all the other stuff had to follow behind. So if you're interested, if you're thinking maybe working in prison is something you'd like to put your toe in the water with, come and speak to me. Let me close in prayer for me. Firstly, Father, I want to thank you for open doors, for opening the doors to allow us to go into prison. Some might say it's not difficult to get into prison, but actually it is quite difficult. More difficult getting out, of course. But I just want to thank you that you've opened doors for us and for a most amazing chaplaincy team. And I pray your blessing on them. Really, the pressure of work is tough to be able to juggle this amongst all the other things they have to do. I pray, Father, for each one of those gifts that will be wrapped here on Monday, would go, and the books, the Christian books that will go with them, that, Father, they really would touch hearts. I know from the responses we get from the families and from the men how much they really are blown away by it. I was going to say appreciate it, but that really is an understatement. They're really just blown away by the whole thing. And they just struggle to understand why we should care. But it does touch hearts. And pray that it would turn lives around. The inmates in prison, but the lives of the children and the families at home as well. You would turn their hearts. As Paul says in his second letter to the Corinthians, that grace would be overflowing such that God would be honored. Amen. Who's that? Oh, yes.